Welcome back, everyone, to another edition of Combat Corner, powered by Come On Now, the podcast. I'm your host, Rudy Rodriguez Showmont. I have with me a special guest. There's been a big fight announced hitting the Hard Rock on September 12th. And I'm going to let him tell you all about this fight because this is a big one. This is definitely an elimination fight to face off with the champion at 145, Kai Stewart. I bring to you the one, the only Edgard, the Dream Killer Plazaola, brother. What's going on, man? Thank you for jumping on with me again today.
No, thank you so much for having me, man. Super excited about this fight and super happy to be here on your show.
So, talk about this fight with Gary Fox. I mean, he was down here last month at this Champion Summit. We were thinking that maybe he's might be fighting Kai Stewart, but here we got you fighting Kai. Having he's coming back here to fight you in the Hard Rock on September 12th. How did this fight come to pass? And talk about your opponent.
Well, to tell you the truth, I don't know. I don't really know how to explain it, like after my last fight, I knew I was already in position, like to ask for the title shot, but one thing came to the other one. I sat down on the July card, like waiting for the call, like expecting, like, okay, I know I'm next, talking about, like the fight against Kai Stewart, obviously. But I don't know what's going on there, whether he's going up on weight class, like, bottom line is I cannot be sitting down waiting, I have to stay active. And they told me this guy, Gary Fox, we check it out, like UK featherweight champion, and they told us, like elimination fight. So after this fight, it's not something that whether I be waiting for the call or no, I know automatically I'm going for the belt. So I'm excited about it. Like this is a tough opponent, like any other opponent, man. I don't underestimate absolutely no one. And I'm more than ready for this guy, like the same way that I'm prepared, to when I'm a champion, defend my belt. So if I had to go over this guy first before I go and collect my belt, we're gonna go ahead and do that.
I mean, the opportunity to fight Gary Fox. What do you see from his game? And obviously he is the UK champion. Obviously, it doesn't seem like this is for a UK belt because you're not from the UK and you don't live over
Yeah.
there. My guess is that they're probably looking to consolidate these belts and just have one world champion. But talking about a guy like Gary Fox who has a championship pedigree and what he brings to the cage.
Well, super tough opponent, like very like I can see that he's like very good in the inside. But we're not worried about it, like this is the type of fight that I actually feel very comfortable with, and I'm expecting a highlight.
Did you see when these guys were down here and they went chasing a cell phone in Miami?
I
On
did,
on
I did.
I mean, what you live down here in South Florida. What do you think of guys from another country saying we're getting in our car, we're driving to look like a chop shop in North Miami? I mean, I don't know what that was, and they still walked out with the phone. I mean, I mean, you live here. Would you jump in their car with three other guys and say we're going over here to get my phone, and you don't know where the hell you're going? I mean,
Yeah.
does that show a level of crazy?
Or being naive, like one of the other one. I'm assuming that if I would be over there in UK and I have to find my phone and I don't know any better, probably I will do the same thing, So yeah, either one or the other one, like being naive about it or just being very brave.
So does this tell you how crazy you guys are as fighters? That I need my phone back. I'm
No,
getting my
yeah,
phone
man.
back.
Absolutely, definitely.
What have you been up to, man? It's been when did you last fight? Was it March? If I recall.
March 27, yes, March 27 was my last fight. I've been always in preparation, definitely, like when I don't have a fight line up, I slow down the training because, like it's important for my body to recover so that way when it's time to peak, I peak. But always in preparation, like I said, like we were like preparing already for a top fight for a title shot. So I was always been preparing. But at the same
Mhm.
time, I've been having the opportunity to enjoy my family, my kids, during the summer, no school. So that's something that I'm very grateful that I had the chance to do this time around, Typically, if I can recollect last year around this time, I was I was recovering from a knee surgery, so I was a lot into like therapy and 100% committed to recover as fast as possible the way that I did. So this time around, yeah, enjoying the summer with my family, with my kids, and preparing. And obviously, like as soon as we knew that we were up for September, we start like gearing up the training camp, and now that's the number one priority, prepare for this fight September 12th.
How is everything coming along right now? I mean, we're what,
Amazing,
three
man.
3 weeks out?
Yep. 3 weeks
Three,
out, yeah,
yeah.
3, 4 weeks out, if
Mhm.
I'm not mistaken, like including 5 weeks. Once again, at this point, yeah, like everything's coming up together. I'm always in an amazing shape. So, like I said, for me, it's about being smart when it's time to pick up, so I can
Mhm.
always stay explosive, strong, powerful. So let's just say that this is the part that I start enjoying training camp. Because
Wow.
I'm ready to like I get to start like going hype up.
How do you feel about fighting at the Hard Rock? You seem to be like your home is the Hard Rock. Is there ever a time where you say to the BKFC, "I'd love to fight somewhere else," or are you happy wherever they put you?
Man, if I can think about that, I will tell BKC that I would like to fight somewhere else will be actually in Miami,
Okay.
Like at the end of the day, exactly the Hard Rock, like it's still home for me. It's so close, like, and definitely I'm the local. But if you get the chance, like to make something right here a little more close by, like in Miami, in
Mhm.
the 305,
Yeah.
that would be something amazing. But no, I can deny, like I'm trying to enjoy as much as possible being the home fighter, like where I get the chance to bring all my people, my students, the people that support me, since day one.
Is there
Like I
I
always say, I never know when it's gonna be time, like to start, like traveling and defending the belt. But as long as I can, like I'm always gonna try to fill up the Hard Rock Cafe.
is there added pressure fighting at home in front of your students, your family and everyone there? Do you feel added pressure at times, or maybe if you're on the road, you might be a little bit more relaxed, like, okay, I'm not here. I don't got to worry about
Mm,
listening to the crowd. I mean, you never know. I
no,
mean, everyone
man.
has,
Like I feel like at least in my mindset, like pressure is what made me. How can I put it? Like, yeah, made me flourish as a fighter.
yeah.
Like the more pressure, the more is in the line, the more gear up I am for it. So I honestly think that it's the opposite. I enjoy being being comfortable, like in weigh-ins, like I can literally, like be at home and then, like go for the weigh-ins and I'm not staying in a hotel, I'm in my house with my family, and then I can come back home on fight day, like in the morning I'm here meditating and my home pool, and then, when it's time to go, I just drive 45 minutes and I'm there. For me, actually, I get to enjoy that, like I find it so comfortable, opposite to having to be traveling, staying in hotels, and dealing with all of that.
So even fighting here, you don't stay at the fighter hotel. You drive the
No,
day of the fight 45 minutes.
yeah, 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 absolutely.
What
Like
what what
like
what, ti- what time do you leave then for a fight? Because you know how it is in traffic here. A car accident can turn
yeah,
the
yeah.
day
Well,
upside
typically
down.
they typically told us that we had to be there by 6 p.m. I think, or 5 p.m. So I'm always trying to leave here, like 90 minutes, like
Mhm.
around 3:30 or something like that, to avoid all that traffic and stuff.
And you're in
Obviously,
Ken-
I had no excuse. I cannot be late when I'm so close by it, right?
you're in Kendall.
N- no, I believe, this is Sweetwater. I think
Oh, you're
like I'm
Sweetwater.
I'm
Okay.
I right here, right across FIU.
Oh, okay. I went to
Like that right FIU, like right across FIU. That's
I
that's where
went
my.
to FIU. I went to FIU.
Oh yeah,
My mother taught in Sweetwater for many, many years. So yeah,
yeah.
no, I'm very familiar. You know, your last fight, Louis Lopez, you get a third round TKO. He's obviously a solid competitor. What did you take from his fight that you can, the experience of that fight, because he's fought everybody, and fighting him and what that did for your career.
I'm in at a stage of my mind, like obviously I trying to stay grounded. Everything that I say, everything that I achieve at the end of the day, I do it through the power of Jesus Christ. But I'm gonna tell you the truth right now. I'm in a position that I know I can dominate this weight division, So I was very, very prepared for Louis Lopez. Like I say, I don't underestimate any opponent, but I feel that I'm in a level right now, that is gonna be really, really tough for all of these guys to keep up. And I just wanna display that with the best of the best.
What would you say? I mean, you started fighting in BKFC in 2022. How have you seen your growth within the sport? I mean, how do you from 2022 to now? It's only been 3 years, 3.5 years.
Yeah,
And you're 5-0. You're fighting in a elimination fight for a
yeah.
title shot. And what have you seen just from your different fights and how your career has grown?
Well, I couldn't be more happy, like this everything, like I say, everything that I pray for, it happens, like I always look for those finish, for the domination. I would say, like obviously every single fight that I step in, I'm feeling more comfortable. That I notice. And the more active I stay, the better as well, So that's why, it's important for me to stay healthy. And if I'm healthy, to stay active. That make a huge difference from my first fight to my second one, and also from my third one to my fourth one. Because on my first fight, I would say, like, it was my toughest fight up to this day. I broke my hand, but I still was able to come in with the win. And man, for that first BKFC fight, this guy, Chevy, I believe, is his name. Like, was a really, really great opponent for it. Nothing. I had to like sit out for like a year to have surgery, recovery, and so. So my second fight, obviously, I came, like gun blazing. But I still, after that fight, I feel a lot more comfortable. But everything started changing for me after that third fight. Like that third fight, I overcome adversity as well against Dogson because I blew my knee out. So it didn't win as I was planning. I didn't fight that fight the way that I was planning on fighting the fight and the way that I trained for it. But I had to, like adjust to it based on what was happening at that moment. But I still felt in the difference after that fight. Then I had knee surgery, and oh man, I think that made the huge difference. I feel like a completely different fighter, like I have my knees nice and healthy, my legs extremely strong, and that's what made the difference now with my movement. And now my previous experience as an MMA fighter, now that I've been so obsessed on improving my boxing, now like I knew it that when I got these last two fights, it was gonna be like that. And now for this next one coming up, same thing. I feel that the only thing that I think about my last fight is I didn't get to show uh, uh as much as all the skills that I had been getting in this last couple years that I wish. But I had the feeling that on this fight I'm gonna be able to display that more. And I'm definitely looking for a clean KO.
Well, why didn't you let the fights go longer then, so you could show more?
I know, right? Uh,
Talk about Did you go to the Champion Summit at the Hard Rock? Did you go to the fight for that? For that?
I did not, man. I did not. I did not. Like
You didn't go to the you didn't go to the fight either.
I did went to the fight, like
Okay.
I
Yeah.
was in the fight because I was cornering Christie, but
Mhm.
like I guess that was the main reason, like I helped Christie be sent to help with her fight, especially like at the very end.
Yeah.
And I feel that, like for me, when I'm not fighting, that's kind of like my priority, So like we were like a more focused on her, like being ready for the fight, being prepared. But no, we didn't have the chance. Plus, they didn't summit me, So that's why another reason why. Like,
No,
well,
it
we'll
was it
see.
was it was funny because there are a lot of people that were in the crowd that were screaming at the people on the stage, back and forth. So there was some back and forth from the crowd, who were fighters in the crowd who yelling at the stage. But
Yeah.
I mean, you mentioned Christy. I mean, talk about her recovery. I mean, the fight with Faria was bloody. I mean, a lot of damage, and she comes back and it puts on a great performance and wins quickly. I mean, what did that do for her? emotionally because if you take a beating like that, I mean, it can mess with you. And talk about her how she recovered from that in her first fight back and looked so solid in that performance.
No, yeah, I was confident, like I honestly was. That's exactly what I was hoping for her, like
Mhm.
we were looking there, like not for her just to have a dominant fight, but to also have a finish, and that's what she trained for it. But I feel, like we're gonna be a good confident booster. But I didn't have no doubt, like man, Christy is a old FFA, fighter, we call it, like we both been training at the Freestyle Fighting Academy since day one. And I know that we both have the same fighter mindset that we had learned at the end of the day from all the people over there, like previous fighters, coaches. So I knew, like that she was gonna come back stronger than ever, like we had that strong mindset mentality.
You know, that last fight card, though, overall, I mean, what did you think of the fight card? And I mean, the packed house with the Hard Rock. You've got all these guys, local guys fighting. When you're sitting in the corner, you're like, damn, I'm supposed to be on this card.
I know,
Do you
I
feel that
know.
way? Do you feel that way?
Absolutely, absolutely. There's no way to do, like from time to time, be like, oh man, I should be here. But then at the same time, like I say, I try to like balance myself and try to always be grateful for all the occasions. And I always go back to like, you know what? I've been enjoying time with my family. I've been, like I be able to be present for my kids,
Mhm,
because at the end of the day, when it's training camp, it's tough. It's hard, like my family understand how it works, like waking up early in the morning to go and prove, like 3, 4 hours of training. Obviously, like beside that, I had to like work and teach. So, like during the afternoon, I had to like rest up, so I can recover and go again and do all over again in the evening. So, yes, I'm home, but as you can see, I'm not as present, and my kids understand that I need all of that, right? And being able to have that summers with them, and being able to be present, not tired all the time or recovering and stuff was amazing. So I cannot complain. It's kind of like sometimes you, as a fighter, you need that,
mhm.
because I was very active, like right after
Yeah,
that, like I got like 3 consecutive fight, like back to back to back.
yeah.
Every time that they would come to the hard rock, I was there. So I think that having this pause was just perfect,
You know,
It keeps you hungry, give you a good reset. And so when you come back at it. Like right now, you see me, I cannot wait to get in there already and let loose.
so it's been, did you go on as like a summer vacation with your family or anything like that?
Yeah, we in the sunshine state, like so. Yeah, like we do like little getaways, whether just like staying here at home. Absolutely, my daughter, it was just her birthday, so like we got to like celebrate her,
Mhm.
Uh, yeah, during the summer that the kids are not school, we get to the chance, like to go away. So absolutely, definitely.
So the BKFC, I mean, so much. It seems like things happen on a daily basis with the BKFC. I mean, they announced this $25 million tournament. Unfortunately, you don't weigh 185 pounds. I mean, maybe you'll
I
gain
know.
weight, but they announced this tournament. They've announced, they're going back to Rome. They're going back to Dubai. They're doing all these big things. And now you've got yesterday an announcement of Frankie Edgar, the former UFC champion, Hall of Famer from the UFC, who has signed with the BKFC. It looks like he's fighting Jimmy Rivera on the October 4th BKFC 82 card that now has Mike Perry and Jeremy Stevens and Jessica Borga and Christine Faria. I mean, Frankie Edgar is a legend in combat sports. What do you think of his signing with the BKFC, and obviously how that has some type of impact on your career? Because this guy can fluctuate as he did in the MMA from 135 pounds to 155 pounds, and you're at a 140. You're in 145. Talk about how that could potentially have an impact on your career and what your thoughts of the signing are.
Man, I think it's awesome, man. Because I love the fact that this guy was able, like to take the gloves off. I think it's gonna be perfect for him. Like I was telling you, Frank Yeager is one of those guys that around the time that I started like falling a lot in love for MMA, like he was, like coming racing of to peak. So I always like look up, and study him a lot, and I like him a lot as a fighter. So when I saw the post, it was kind of like a mixed emotion. It was like one part of me was like, man, it would be awesome to fight this guy. But then the other part of me was like, oh man, like this is someone that I grew up like looking up. But at the end of the day, what I mean like looking up was the I would like trying to like part of my training was, like how would I beat, like Frankie Edgar. So I would like kind of like I study his fight and kind of like I
Yeah.
prepare in that sense. Now you definitely right, like he's on those weight class around my weight class. So at the end of the day, like so
Go
yeah,
ahead. Yeah. So
like
continue about Frank Edgar.
yeah, so knowing, that now he could be around my weight classes, like if there's a chance, that he's gonna be in front of me at the end of the day, I have a bet, and this is my sport, like this is what I'm doing. So if I had to face him, we would be excited about it, and you know, it it will be another man down, honestly.
As a guy who as a guy whose career is in the BKFC, as a BKFC fighter, do you have an emotional feeling that you have these cards and then the BKFC then brings a UFC guy in and throws him right at the top? As a BKFC guy, and you don't have to answer this, but I ask this question because I'm a one who likes to, I think you grow guys from within your organization, you make them stars. You bring in a guy who's 43 years old, who's in another organization, he's in your weight class. Do you ever have a concern that, let's say you win your fight, he wins his fight, that they toss him into a title fight against Kai Stewart over you? Does that thought come into your mind? Does that bother you as the possibility? Because look, the reality is it's a business. They want to make money and all that stuff. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, like I say, I understand, all of that, like I'm assuming, if that get to happen, it will be some people will say like, oh yeah, it's gonna make the sport grow better, like the promotion to grow better, to throw a name like Frankie Edgar in a title contention. But to tell you the truth, I like to stay positive. No, I haven't thought about it honestly because I wanna believe, like what I've been saying, I honestly I'm facing this guy literally because I had that goal of setting and fighting for the belt. So I'm the number one contender right now. Literally I shouldn't be facing no one else. I should be like fighting the champion, but I still gonna go and face this guy as an elimination fight. That's how it's being promoted. So I believe that as after this fight, I am going to fight for the belt. Whether I'm gonna fight Kai Stewart, whether he vacate the belt and I fight Frankie Edgar, I don't care. But I think that now is my time for the shot for the belt. And if Frankie Edgar wants them to throw them after or against me for the belt, it's totally fine.
Hmm.
But my priority is fighting for the belt.
Hmm. Looking at Kai Stewart, I mean, he obviously is a big personality. I mean, he talks a great game. He backs it up with great performances. What do you see from him? And obviously, we're not overlooking Gary Fox, but what do you see from him and things that you see him do that you have worked on to make sure that when you get to that point, you're at that level? Because one thing we all know is that guy seems to have cardio that never seems to go away. And cardio in BKFC is massive. You see guys that go balls out for 2 minutes, for 4 minutes, and in minute five, it's like now the punches are looking more like what do you say to that?
Yeah, once again, I think that he keeps a good volume, but my opinion, he doesn't sit on the punches much. That's why obviously he hasn't have a finish in his last six fights, and they go all to unanimous decision. So of course, like you can keep a good cardio pace, if you move a lot. I think that what will make the difference it will be, like obviously the power and the speed that I bring,
Mm.
and I had the same movement that I can match him as well, so once again, he's not really like a boxer, that is gonna have like a sticky jab or
Yeah.
hook. He's just more like a guy, like he moves good in and out, and once again, my background is MMA, so I'm very prepared for those type of style fighting at these weight classes. And in the clinch, obviously, like I know I'm way stronger, powerful, more dominant. So that's actually a fight that I'm really looking forward to, because and I
Mm.
think that that's why, they putting me obstacles to fight for this belt, because I know I had the advantage, like
Mm.
I'm definitely, like a yes, all merits to him what he has achieved, like he's the champion, he has defended the belt, he's a smart fighter, because at the end of the day he knows how to win, and that's something that the winners do,
Yeah.
winners know how to win. That's why I'm always so confident, because I know how to win. I'm a winner. That's why I'm a perfect fighter right now, undefeated. I have no O's at all, amateur, professional, MMA, bare knuckle, because I'm a smart fighter in there, and I work extremely hard. So when it comes to cardio, I'm not worried about it. I know I can maintain a good cardio as well. And the difference is that my shots are gonna hurt. My shots are gonna add up to the body. My shots are going to put you down to sleep, And I can keep the same power from round one. I can keep it on round four as well.
Mhm. Talk about, I mean, some of the sponsors you work with. I mean, I know I've seen them posting about you and posting the event. I mean, you want to give a shout out to any of your sponsors and so forth, give them a little pub.
Yeah, man, absolutely. I'm definitely, like super grateful to all my sponsor, because they are the one who allowed me to basically, like have a full-time fighter career, where allows me once again to just make this a priority and prepare so well for my fights. So I have El Toro Loco Churrasqueria. They are my, like number one sponsors always, from day one. El Toro Loco MMA as well. Freestyle Fighting Academy, always, like on my corner, on my side. So definitely, I had to like give them a shout out as well. The Women Only Fitness Boot Camp as well. All right. And everybody in general, like the support, dynamic wellness. Man, I have an amazing thing as well, like the Miami Shooter Club. So super excited.
You should tell them to sponsor the show, man. Combat Corner show. I mean, they should sponsor the show. I mean, I went to actually my wife graduated from her master's degree from FIU a couple weeks ago, and we went to the El Toro Loco right there on Tamiami,
Yes.
and I mean at 12 o'clock in the afternoon, and it was packed at 12 o'clock in the afternoon. Like it was crazy. And I mean we had a plate for five of us that was just and my first time going there, 'cause I keep seeing all you guys with, El Toro Loco and El Toro Loco, and they're showing you guys up on the screens as well in the restaurant, which I think is really cool. But
Yeah.
you know, uh, I definitely want to go to the other one in Southwest A Street as well in Calle Ocho. But
Oh
no,
yeah,
man,
that's
it was fantastic. So
you
if
gotta
no,
go to El Toro Loco Ranch too. They open it on the weekends, and it's
oh really?
like a completely different concept, and the food and everything is amazing. For the
Where's that?
family, it's
Where's that?
amazing.
Where's that?
It's over there in 137, like Kong Avenue,
Yeah.
like by
Oh
Bike
wow.
Brothers. I don't know if like
It's on Chrome.
yeah, I think that's the avenue right there. Uh and yeah, it's basically, like you can ride horses, like
Oh,
ride ATVs, and it's a ranch, like so you eating outdoors as well. They have like a little different menu as well. Bounce house, like your kids
oh
can
wow.
feed animals. It's amazing. It's
Oh
amazing.
wow, wow. Gotta check
El
that out.
Toro Loco Ranch. You guys
Uh,
gotta check it out.
gotta check that one out, man. No, man, but I appreciate you, man. I thank you for jumping on. You got any final words for Gary Fox? I mean, you're too nice. You don't say anything mean. You know, you don't tell your opponent you're gonna kick his ass. So, uh, what are your final words for Gary Fox?
Listen, my final words for guys is to come very prepared. I'm always looking to put on a show, like come ready for a fight. He knows I'm always gonna win it, and I'm looking, like for a fight of the night always. That's what I always tell my opponent, like let's put out a show. I don't have nothing negative to say, to anyone, So I just wanna make sure, like that we both are as prepared as possible.
Ladies and gentlemen, we got Edgar the Dream Killer Plazaola at the underscore Dream Killer on the screen. You see it right there. That's his Instagram. Go check him out. Go follow him on social media. Go check out all his sponsors as well. Hopefully they'll be sponsoring this show also one day soon because we want to get to that level, man. But I appreciate you. I thank you so very much. We're only about 3.5 weeks out from this fight. Also, if you need tickets, he's got tickets, I'm sure. You can reach out on Instagram, right? If they need tickets.
Absolutely. You guys take
Okay.
message me on Instagram. I had the good tickets as well. And obviously that always gonna help up the fighter.
Mm.
And you don't have to pay those fees online or anything. So if you're in the Miami area, come and check me out. One last thing I wanna say, man, that I almost forgot, like I got one of my platinum sponsors that just jumped in the Dream Killer thing. And I wanna give them a shout out. Delta Fight Security. Thank you so much for the support. Make sure to check them out, for all security. Delta Fight Security.
All right, man. There you have it. Ladies and gentlemen, once again, Edgard, the Dream Killer Plazaola. He's fighting September 12th. Elimination fight against Gary Fox. It's gonna be a banger. I have no doubt about it. That's all we got today. Once again, get all your BKFC information here, right at Combat Corner, powered by Come On Now, the podcast. Come on now.
I've been down through the blood and the sweat. Guarantee you can know I'm a threat. I've been down